Stay tuned for another episode of the Coming Soon podcast with sPidA.
Hey everybody, sPidA here, Coming Soon podcast, of course, coming to you from San Antonio, Texas with my guest, Hallow Ian. My man, how are you doing, bro?
Hello, Mario. Thank you for having me on your show today.
My man, I appreciate you. And of course, man, I got to say right off the bat, bro, when I was reading your, as far as one of the projects you're involved in, Hallow Ian Har Hour, that's a tongue twister, man. It took me a few minutes to get through it, but who came up with that name, man?
So, Hallow Ian, well, I'll tell you the whole backstory. In October of 2022, I was approached to host a horror film festival here in Seattle, Washington. And one of the local horror folks was asking me to come out and kind of just do the traditional horror hosting thing. If you're familiar with Sven Gulli or Sammy Terry or Elvira or any of those folks, they had just suggested that I do something like that. And since my real name is Ian, Hallow Ian evolved from that. Nice. Now, on my day job, I work with a local talk show here in Seattle, Washington as well. And the live show evolved into us showing horror shorts that my production company, Tapped House Media, had been making with our partners On the Fence Productions and Rewired Geek. And that became the Hallow Ian Horror Hour. And now we have a whole graveyard gang of different ghosts and zombies and exorcists and witches that all live in the graveyard together, showing horror shorts that are independently made, music videos, the history of Halloween, and so much more.
Man, and I gotta say, because for you to get involved in this, what was the beginning of everything? I mean, what was it that did it for you when it comes to horror and hosting?
Well, my origins with horror began before I was even born, really. My mother was a huge fan of Stephen King. And when I was born in the hospital, she was reading Stephen King's It because it had come out shortly before my birth. So I grew up in a household with a single mom who was always watching horror movies. And when you have a single parent that's always watching horror movies, you start watching horror at a very young age.
Oh, yeah.
So I've always been drawn to horror, and I was born right at that time. You know, Goosebumps was some of my first, like, how I learned how to read. R.L. Stine taught me to be literate. The first Scream movie came out when I was 10 years old, so that was hugely like pivotal in my coming of age era. And it's just really grown on me. And a few years ago, I had been doing some gaming stuff, Magic the Gathering, and we started doing streaming stuff on YouTube. And then I got more into media. I started working for a local talk show. And eventually I just decided I'm going to make a horror movie. And for the last 5 years, I've been making horror shorts, doing the festival circuit around here. And I've built an amazing team that works together on doing that. And because there are so many amazing independent filmmakers in the Seattle area, we don't have a great scene for making movies around here because we don't have the tax credits of a place like Atlanta, Georgia, or Hollywood, California, or even just north to us in Vancouver, British Columbia. Wow. But we have a lot of really passionate and talented individuals that like making things for the festival circuit. So I've met so many awesome horror makers, and we just keep doing stuff together and growing the team and building a platform for folks to share what they're creating.
Man, that's actually pretty cool, man. I mean, not the fact that you guys don't have the tax credit as far as, cut when it comes to making them, but the fact that the community actually, gets together and actually makes it happen, because that's one of the things I've noticed. I mean, I'm here in San Antonio, Texas, and I forgot that, of course, you're in Seattle, Washington, and for us here, I mean, there's a lot of not so much horror filmmakers. There's a lot of them, but just the whole indie film in general is pretty big. And there's a lot of culture. There's a lot of creative people, man. And even then, I know for the most part, a lot of people work together, but then a lot don't, And of course, each their own. But I mean, the fact that working together, man, you're only going to make things bigger and better for everybody.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, there's just so many different ideas running around, and I think the accessibility for us to be able to create art, like we all walk around with cameras in our pockets now. These aren't the cameras we use on set, but even like the Blackmagic Pocket Design, like 6K or 4K, which is a very good quality camera for making independent short films. Like, you're spending less than $5,000 on those things now, and you can get access to lenses, and like we have so many different places that you can rent like dollies and equipment from. That it's just, I think the accessibility is just so much higher, and even more so when you're all working together and pooling those resources.
Man, that's pretty cool, man. I know, and I always tell people this because for me, like my kids got cell phones before I did. My oldest was probably like 6 or 7. Actually, a little bit older than that because my youngest was around 5, so maybe like 9 or 10 when she got a cell phone. But man, the stuff that they were making back then, because they used to make their own shorts, and I didn't pick up on it. I mean, I was, I still cover combat sports. I'm actually going to a fight tonight, but it just so happened like I wish I would have nailed it right there and then because they used to make some crazy stuff, man. And I'm like, how are you doing this? It was mind blowing because the phone back then, even starting off, you could do a lot with them.
Yeah.
And so I can only imagine, but like you said, I mean, any 4K, video camera, of course, for, smaller films. I mean, it's a good one. I mean, it's definitely some great quality.
Well, and I mean, if you look behind me, I've got such classics as Zoltan, Hound of Dracula, and Screamers and stuff up here. And the quality on these films that I love and I really enjoy, and most of this stuff is on VHS. And I do that because I specifically appreciate that quality. Yeah. And, it's like listening to an album on vinyl. You get that little like hiss sound. There's a quality to it that you don't necessarily get on the most high definition thing. Like if you go back and watch even the original Universal Frankenstein movie and you watch it on like a 4K or ultra high definition version, it is very pretty in some ways, but you can also see the set design and a little bit of the production come through. Whereas on those older forms of media, you actually get to hide some of that and use the media to its advantage, which is, there's a lot of quality to that.
No, for sure. And I gotta agree. I mean, I'm up there in age, and I mean, even now, I mean, I still have vinyl, I still got VHS, I've got cassettes. But for me, it's funny you say that because I'll put a record on, and as soon as I hear that little crispy, I'm like, oh man, it's like music to my ears, bro. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I love it when a VHS tape, I buy them used all the time still. I love when you get that little tracking line that goes through, like it just, there's a quality to it. And all the trailers, like you don't have to sit through trailers on new DVDs or Blu-rays or whatever. And when you have to like watch all of those advertisements, I think, there's some really like popular ones, like at the beginning of the first Batman movie, when Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck come out and they're talking about the Warner Brothers catalog. You can't watch the movie until you get your Warner Brothers catalog. Like that's just in me, man. That was a part of my childhood and a part of what I love about cinema. So.
No, for sure, man. I'm a real stickler because also I collect or I own VHS tapes. My thing is finding recorded movies, and I always buy them because I'm like, man, I wonder if they got commercials, man. And I'll sit through the commercials, bro. I love that. Actually pretty cool, nostalgic, but yeah, I'll sit through it and I'm like, oh man, I remember when that came out, and it was just, kind of brings back it's a little time machine, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's entire YouTube channels, I think, like what's Dinosaur Dracula, that's just devoted to showing like old fast food commercials or old toy commercials or old like horror movie commercials. Like you just watch all those old Halloween commercials for hours on YouTube. It's fantastic.
No, you see, and as a matter of fact, earlier where I work at, they had me going through all these plaques. I mean, I just started at this place like 2 months ago, and they're like, man, there's all these boxes, go through them. So I'm like, okay, I started separating them. and every plaque, every frame had newspapers through them. So I was like, oh man! So I'm going through the newspapers, right? And they're like 2002, 2007, and I'm finding all these old ads, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, man. Like it's just like a, like an encyclopedia, man. I would just go back and
Oh. I think one of us froze up there. Uh-oh. Did I freeze up or did you?
give it a few seconds. I apologize. Are you back, brother? Think I got you back on there. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are.
Yes, sir. I was able to see you for a few seconds, and I said, "Oh man, let me see." I'm not sure, and I was gonna say too because I have friends up there in California, up north, and for some reason, in California, when it comes to StreamYard, it breaks up every once in a while. I mean, I was hoping it wouldn't with you. I mean, you're still a little bit further north, but
Yeah.
I apologize, man.
No, it's we're all good there. I'm back now. I'm not sure what happened there. Apologize for that.
I was gonna say it started glitching, and I said, "Oh, we were just talking about that, man. VHS, bro."
Exactly. Well, yeah, and it's like those ads you're finding, it's just that nostalgia trip. And that's, I mean, a lot of what back to my show, the Halloween Horror Hour is a lot of that nostalgia vibe, right? We've got the fake commercials, we've got the very independent, low budget horror thing going on. And it's just really exciting to see people getting into that. And the fact that we get to be on local TV is also just a lot of fun. Oh no.
There you go.
Oh, there you are. There you are.
I was looking at my internet because I checked it the first time, and it was showing all the bars. And right now, when it broke up, I went back to my internet, and for some reason, it said it had me on Wi-Fi. And I mean, that's in-home internet, so I'm not sure what happened there. It switched me out.
Okay. Yeah, everything looks good on this end. I actually have better internet than I usually do right now. That's nice. I'm going to do this just in case. Okay.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good here.
Yeah, man. It's the powers that be. For some reason, it's on my end, but it's saying like I'm too far from the router, but it's like right next to me. So I went back and I reloaded it and it jumped back on. So that's good. But I'm not sure what
Okay.
happened. I know for the most part I have AT&T, and we're the only house in the neighborhood that has it. And our router is on our neighbor's yard, so I can't get to it. But yeah, man, sorry about that, brother.
You're all good. You're all good. It looked like I still might have been live there for a second. But yeah, I was just saying, like, it's interesting going through and finding all those old ads and just how popular the nostalgia thing is. And we really enjoy the fact that we are on local TV as well as on YouTube. You can find the Halloween Horror Hour at youtube.com/Halloween Horror Hour. or at tappedhousetv.com. But we have like the commercials, and we have infomercials. Like we sold a casket made for cats to sit in on one of our episodes. We've got like breaking news reports that pop up every once in a while because we got a recurring character that is like a news anchor.
Okay.
Yeah. And all of season 1 is up on that YouTube channel now. But if you are local to Seattle, you can watch it on channel 28 on cable, just like a Halloween special, and it's on every Friday at 8 p.m. I think they're still running us as reruns, even though it's not Halloween season, which is really fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. And how did you guys manage that local TV spot?
So, I mean, I work with the TV station as part of my day job. So the talk show that I have, or that I work on, they actually came to me and they were like, "Hey, can we put your show on our channel?" They want us to produce episodes like every week, but they just put it on there for free. We don't have like a budget or anything. This is very much a passion project, and we're working on finding ways to expand that, and we would love to work with larger production companies and stuff if that becomes a possibility in the future. We also have lots of advertising opportunities. So if there was like a podcast or a haunted house or another show that wanted to advertise on our show, you can definitely do that. We have spots for it. And we do that with some of the local haunted houses around here, but we'd be happy to expand. And we will be going out to streaming services this year. So you'll be able to find the show on, whatever Tubi is a little bit different. They've kind of changed their policies with the new CEO, but we'll probably be there, and like some of the other Roku-based channels. So if you stream on, a lot of those free services and find a lot of the great horror that's out there that way, we are hoping to be in that lineup this year as well.
Nice, man. You see, and I've been trying. When it comes to the this podcast, Coming Soon podcast, I've been at it for a year and a few months. But I've been picking at radio stations just to like local, college stations. I mean, just trying to see what else I can do. I mean, to get out there, because it's it's something we don't have. I mean, I would love to be able to come home and have an episode, somebody doing a horror show, man. That'd be freaking dope, man.
Yeah, and we're just excited that we've been able to expand as much as we have. Our production takes a little while, so because we all have day jobs, we only put out 4 episodes last year, and then we're going to have, I think it's 8 episodes this year. We're going to have a bonus episode in July called Summer Horror Romance, which is going to be all about kind of erotic thrillers and relationships gone wrong. And then we will have our 4 normal episodes that will come out on local TV this fall, which will be, our Halloween-based kind of stuff that have a storyline going through them this season. And then we have a bonus episode that'll come out in November, and we're actually going to have a Christmas episode that'll come out this December with some Christmas-focused horror and a visit from Krampus.
Nice. That's always good, man.
Yeah. So twice as many episodes this year.
That's cool, man. I mean, as far as the team, I mean, how many are other with you guys?
So on our cast, there is myself, my co-host Sam. There is Scary Ghost, Magic Mirror, Giovanna, who was the Exorcist in season 1, but is coming back in a different role in season 2. Nice. We also have DZ, who is a zombie chiropractor, and Kitchen Witch, who does our cooking show segment, along with Van Vidal, who is our news correspondent. So there's all sorts of stuff going on as far as our regular cast. But our crew is about 30 people that help us make it. Our director of photography and main editor, Michael Ronley, who's been very successful on the festival circuit. And then we have some amazing partners, Rewired Geek, who does our audio and assistant camera coordination, our audio team, which is Landon Digital Media, and we have some fantastic makeup artists that work at local haunted houses and with Real Fiction Studios. who are releasing their horror movie, The Death of Snow White, later this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which you can
Oh.
find a trailer for that on YouTube. And then, of course, I have Pumpkin here, who is one of the co-stars of The Graveyard. She's not a very good actor, but she has been on camera a couple of times, and she has decided she's going to sit in my lap while we do this.
Oh, man. And of course, I mean, the cat, I mean, that's just one. You take it with you and it just pops up on screen, or you guys actually let it
Oh
go?
yeah. She is one of the stars of the show. We're actually having a puppet made of her, so that we can do some more acting with her this season. Because we had her act in a few scenes last year, and it takes a long time to get an animal to do what you want it to, especially a cat. So we are going to actually have a full-on puppet that'll be finished probably by the end of this weekend. So that'll be coming in season 2.
Man, that's just that alone would be worth going to watch, man. Because you said cat, and I was thinking about Sabrina, the Teenage Witch. She had that,
Yeah.
That cat that would always hang around and freaking do everything else, man. So that's cool.
Salem is a big influence on that.
Yes, there
And
you go.
On our YouTube channel, again, youtube.com /@ Hallow Ian Horror Hour, there is the infomercial for the cat skit, which is a casket for your cat to sit.
Man, I'm gonna have to share that, definitely.
Yeah,
man. I'll go out there and subscribe as well. And let me ask you, because when it comes to social media outlets, where are you guys on? I mean, of course, Facebook, Instagram. What else?
We are on Facebook, Instagram. Hallow Ian is on the Slasher app, which is just the horror social media app. I don't know. It's been kind of hit and miss, but I like that there is one for it. But you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Tapped House. That's TAPPEDHOUSE. And that is the production company that makes the Horror Hour, along with a lot of other shorts. And we have a lot of really cool partners and things that we post there. The YouTube channel for sure. And I think that's it for our social media team right now. I don't think we do X anymore, or Twitter or whatever. And we might be on Reddit a little bit, but I don't manage any of that, so I wouldn't know. And then we will have an Indiegogo, and we have lots of merch. You can find all of that kind of stuff at tappedhousetv.com. Again, that's TAPPEDHOUSE TV.com. So we've got shirts and stickers and all sorts of other stuff. And we'll also be at Crypticon, which is the Pacific Northwest's largest horror convention, the first weekend of May. So if you want to come out and see Hallow Ian Horror Hour live, or come visit any of the cast or crew at our table, we will be there.
Man, let me ask you, will the cat be there?
No, the cat will not be at the convention, unfortunately. The puppet might be. We might bring the puppet with us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I mean, it seems like you guys are definitely having fun with this. I mean, I know it's work when it comes to the production team getting things done, but yeah, that's cool, man. I'm glad that yourself and everybody else out there that's involved is getting a kick out of this, because like I said, I mean, as far as the podcast, I've been getting on a few perks when it comes to voice acting. I have a few video out as far as on film, indie films, and my take is like I want to support. So I'm always like trying to get something, and I get something in return. So it's a give, right? It's a win-win,
Yeah.
Get on there and, but it's pretty cool, man. I tell my kids what I'm doing, and they're like, oh, okay, that's cool, Dad. Because they still, I mean, DVDs and VHS, man. I kept them living in that era, man. So they love this stuff.
Yeah. What you're going to be in a couple of films coming up here pretty soon, right? Can you tell me a bit about those?
No, yeah. I mean, as far as the ones I've been in is Amityville Ripper. I mean, that one's actually already on DVD. That one I just do like I play a podcaster, and I just do like a little plug. I just kind of talk about the film. The other one is Bears on the Ship. That one's still in production right now. That one I'm a heartbreaker. I actually break up with somebody over the phone, which is kind of cool. So but all the other ones, I mean, I'm on video audio perks. I've got Sweet Meats. I'm actually radio evangelist. So you'll hear my voice out there, like whether driving around, listening to the radio. So you'll hear me talking here and there. So it's quite a few, man. I mean, they're stocking up. I'm excited about it. I mean, there's so many indie films out there that have gotten my attention. Only Fangs is another one. That one's, I mean, just the name itself is great. I love vampire. Yeah. The crew that they have, it's a crew that they've already used, so it's just like the chemistry was there. I enjoyed it. It was actually a lot of the cast from Murder Size. I don't know if you've seen that one, but the same cast.
That sounds right up my alley. I love killer workout. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, I used to work out religiously. So yeah, the workouts can kill you, man. So believe me, I'm tired. But yeah, man. I've just been getting involved and just trying to make things happen. I mean, the podcast is great. Like I said, I'm still in process of trying to get on an international magazine. I've been trying to do like a scene report. Like whenever I go to these events, do a write up. Send it out, get it printed. So I'm still plugging out on that. The local radio, man, I'm still hopeful. Let's see if I can get something before the end of the year. That would be a plus for myself. But just to be able to come out at night and see who's up listening, but bring a guest or be on the phone, whatever it takes, man. But
yeah,
I enjoy it, man, and that's one of the things too, because the fact that you guys are on TV. It's kind of, I mean, everybody's streaming, and I mean, I stream. For the most part, I do watch stuff on TV when it comes to movies. But all these stream outlets out there, I'm guilty of doing that. I support, but I would love to be able to go home and literally just put on the TV and just have a TV show dedicated to horror. That's just old school, man. I love it. Nostalgia.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great. It is a little bit of a novelty because not a lot of people even have cable anymore. Like they just immediately go to the streaming services. So, it'll be nice to be available there too. But I love it when I can I turn on the local cable Friday and just watch the show and just really see what's happening here in the Pacific Northwest. And we have so many new shorts. Actually, that's one of our closing lines. We have so many shorts to show you in the Hellraiser line, right? And we've got 20 new short films that we're going to be showing in the actual season this year. So there were 12 short films last year, so we've almost doubled that number. And then we have 4 new music videos that we'll be featuring from bands like the Bloody Jug Band out of Florida, Murder Weapons out of Seattle here. Last season we had Dracula Party and the Destroyers, amazing surf punk band. So if you like that true variety show thing, we've got interviews. We did segments on the history of trick-or-treating, Halloween parties, jack-o'-lanterns. If you want to know how many pumpkins were bought in the United States in 2022, we've got you covered on that stuff. So we have all the fun facts to go along with these gory and gruesome and intelligent and hilarious horror films that we get to share with everybody.
Dude, I like that, man. I mean, definitely. What got me earlier was you were saying during the show you have like breaking news. Dude, that's freaking genius, dude.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. Van Vidal he broke in. He broke some news. He was talking about zombies taking over the streets of Seattle, and then it's hilarity ensues. And he'll be back again in season 2. Doing a little homage to Ghost Watch, or yes. I mean, very similar to if you just saw Late Night with the Devil, the new David Dastmalchian movie, absolutely fantastic film. But we lean into some of those talk show vibes. So,
man, well, that's cool, man. I mean, as far as projects coming up. I mean, I know you said you have a lot of shorts. We have to watch. But what else do you have? Do you guys have coming up this year? I mean, is there anything look forward to?
Yeah, so on the YouTube channel, there'll be that horror romance episode that'll come out in July. And then starting in September, the new season will start. We have our short film that we produced with On the Fence Productions will be on that horror romance episode. That's called The Need. It's going to be finishing up its festival run here pretty soon. We actually just showed at a festival in Tacoma, Washington last Thursday. Yep. And then we are also starting work on a project with the working title of Movie A that'll be starring some familiar faces from the Halloween Horror Hour. So if you're a fan of one of our co-hosts, Scary Ghost, she is going to be playing her first major leading role in one of our short films. We're very excited for Alex because she is a fantastic actor and just really great folks to work with. We have an amazing cast for that film. The working title, like I said, is Movie A. That's being put together with On the Fence Productions, which is our director of photography's organization and we're just so excited to bring that to the festival circuit this coming year, and it'll probably do its first festival starting in October. So we'll you can keep your eye out for anything with the Tapped House or On the Fence Productions logo on it showing up at local horror film fests in your area.
Nice, bro. And I was gonna say too, man, because my girl is actually from Seattle. I mean, she's been here for over 10 years. We've been together over 5, but it's she keeps wanting to move back home, and I'm like, man, I don't. Every time I see Seattle, it's gloomy and raining, and I was gonna ask you, how's the weather out there, man?
Well, it just started raining again today, but I was actually out. And we like to tell people that it rains all the time because we got enough people here. Everyone moves here to work for Facebook or Google or Amazon. And before that, it was Microsoft. And before that, Boeing. And before that, the logging industry. So we've got a lot of people out here. The traffic is pretty wild. But it's actually been pretty beautiful the last few days. I've gone skateboarding 3 out of the last 4 days. And I got a little park next to me, and I've just been out there enjoying the really nice weather. But we like the rain and the gloom when it happens because we know that it'll be green and really beautiful, and all the water will be nice and clear, and we've got lots of wildlife and forests and mountains to play in, and that all happens because of the rainy season. So.
No, for sure, man. And I was going to say, because all these companies that you mentioned, I mean, here's San Antonio. I mean, of course, I'm sure they're everywhere, but we have Boeing. I'm actually going to a Boeing Tech Center later to go watch those fights, ironically. But we've got, as far as Amazon, I mean, there's a lot of big businesses. I mean, in Austin, the Facebook building moved out there. We got Elon Musk, doing this thing out here in Corpus. So it's like, I mean, you talked about everybody moving to Seattle, man. Everybody moved to San Antonio, bro. We've been booming, been growing. On top of my job, I'm actually a contract delivery driver, and I deliver furniture for Big Lots, and I've been doing that, going on 7+ years. And because of that, I've been seeing the city grow because I'm going to places. I'm like, dude, it was like nothing but trees last year. Now it's like freaking condos and apartment complexes, and it's crazy. But one of the things I like, and I was going to mention that skateboarding, is because when I'm out there delivering furniture, man, I see skate parks, man. I pull over, bro.
Yeah, nice.
I get it when I can. What do you skate, man?
I skate a local shop board. I just like to support the local shops. I don't have a brand that I adhere to. I'm riding just an 8.0. When I grew up, everybody was skating like 7.5s and 7.75s. It feels like everyone's skating like 8.5s or 9s now, which is cool. It's just a bit bigger than I need. But I like getting out and skating transition as much as possible, just going up and grinding the coping. As I'm getting up there in age, I don't want to throw myself over stairs or grind rails or anything like that anymore. I like to take it easy on my knees and my ankles, that's for sure.
No, I hear you, man. I'm right there with you, bro. Like for me, I always tell people I surf, man. I just go out there and I cut corners, and I can still do a lot of street. I can still land my kick flips. No comply, my 360s, my shot. Little transitional stuff, man. But I will say this, man. Whenever I do that, I'm like hurting for like 2-3 days, bro. I'll feel it for a while. So.
Yep. You get sore, and it takes longer to warm up and longer to feel good again. That's for sure.
Exactly, man. But I mean, I still do it. I still go out there. I try to stay limber. I'm actually looking to start getting back into jiu-jitsu. I was training in MMA back in '99 all the way to like 2006.
Okay.
but yeah, I'm looking to get back just for the fact that I'm actually, I'm looking to do more background work when it comes to film. So I want to stay limber. I want to get limber. I want to be able
Yeah.
to. If they tell me, hey, jump off a second floor window, hey, first I gotta see how much you're paying, but we'll talk about it, man.
Right on, right on.
But,
Yeah, Kitchen Witch, one of the other characters on the show is she practices Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so
hey,
uh,
man.
she's been into that for about a year now. So
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I love it just for the fact that it does keep you limber. I mean, you're stretching your
yeah,
hip flexors. I mean, as you get older, I'm like, man. I mean, the other day I got out of bed and my hip hurt. I was like, damn, like what the hell? I felt that all day, but it's just one of those things where just getting older. You don't even have to be working out anymore, man. You just hurt left and right.
yep, absolutely.
But man, but that's cool, man. I mean, as far as I mean, you were talking about the weather, man. But what else or in your area? What's around there as far as like touristy, just spots to hit?
Oh man, there's so much great stuff in this area. I live, an hour away from Mount Tahoma, which is or Mount Rainier, as some of the other folks call it. But it's a massive volcano that just towers over Washington State. You can pretty much tell what direction you're facing based on where the mountain is. Hard to get lost around here because of that. And then I'm, less than half an hour away from the Puget Sound, which is part of the Salish Sea. We got, orcas and peninsulas and ferries and salmon and all sorts of stuff. We have, there's a lot of true crime history and some weird haunted history around here. Ted Bundy's from this area. We got Gary Ridgway. So there's a lot of that like serial killer history if you're into that weird stuff. But there's just everything here. It's absolutely a fantastic place to live. And we got every single climate in Washington State. So you're not more than 2 hours away from the desert. You're never more than like 3 hours away from mountains and hiking trails. The water's right there. We got 2 giant mountain ranges, and it's not a very big state, so you can get around places pretty easy.
Nice, man. Well, I mean, it definitely sounds pleasant. I mean, here in San Antonio, bro. I mean, Texas in general. I mean, last year we were at 105, 108 degrees for like almost over a month, dude. It was freaking hot as hell. It's humid for the most part. It just depends, but I mean. Everywhere the weather's bipolar, but here, we tend to say that a lot because it can be cold this morning, hot in the evening, and then tomorrow it's like raining. It's just kind of all over the place. But man, dude, that's pretty dope, though, man. I mean, and like I said, I mean, I'm not against moving. I mean, she is from out there. She has family out there, but if we do, man, I'll definitely be hitting you guys up, man. At least I'll be able to watch the Horror Hour on Fridays, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, bro. And let me ask you, I mean, you talked earlier as far as people being able to, buy ad space. I mean, as far as sponsors, are you guys all for that as well?
Yeah. We are happy to have sponsors of the show. We've got some stuff. We'll be having an Indiegogo going live at the end of this month, so we're gonna have some cool perks for sponsors. It's only like $300 and you can have your ad and logo on the website, on the TV show, in the credits, that kind of stuff. We also we're gonna have like some walk-on stuff. We've got stickers and posters and shirts and all that kind of stuff. We've got some really cool stretch goals that I can't really talk about just now, but we'd love to see those get hit and love to be able to get more Halloween and more general horror stuff in the hands of people. But last year we partnered with a number of local authors. We partnered with local haunted houses. So there was a haunted house that gave us a number of tickets to give out to audience members. So you were able to go to this really cool, it's like a kind of Lovecraftian themed aquatic haunted house in Tacoma, Washington. And we're going to be partnering with some more of those folks this year. And then we also partner with a lot of community organizations. So there's parades and there's a local group that just does like haunted houses at their homes or finding costumes for kids in the area that might not have access to them. So we help try to raise awareness around those things. And then I grow a pumpkin patch in my front yard, and I try to help people get access to jack-o'-lanterns, and I do a bunch of carving and do a haunt at my home, and I pass out the Halloween Pokemon cards at my house, and so kids love coming to my place because they get all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's so many fun ways to interact with the community, and I do this because I love Halloween and I love horror, and I love just sharing that enthusiasm with other folks. So.
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, just here alone. I mean, there's so many local conventions. You know, we've got
Yeah.
Retro City. You know, they hosted a Return of the Living Dead a reunion the other day. Being able to go out there, you know, I get permission to do my media thing and interview the guests and take photos. And you know, I mean, I grew up watching it, man. So for me, it's just surreal. You know, getting to meet these people in person. You know, Kings of Horror is another one here locally, man. We got MonsterCon. You know, they've got a hot bit of Halloween. So Felicia Rose and a couple other guests are going to be out there, man. And I'm, you know, it's like I'm like a kid at a candy store, man. I'm just enjoying it and being able to interview, you know, not just interview the actors, but just conversate and just get like cool facts that they're like, oh, and by the way, I've never told anybody this. You know, I'm like, oh, snap. Like, okay, cool, man. Like a lot of behind the scenes, you know, but just to see where they came from, where they went through, and what they're doing now. I'm like, okay, cool, man. Like, you can tell they enjoyed it, you know.
Yeah, we have our big horror convention every year that's called Crypticon, and I've been going for a number of years. I met Cassandra Peterson there. I've met Christine Marie McEllis from Child's Play 2 and 90210. Just so many people. Dee Olson. This year, Joe Dante is going to be there. Zach Galligan. So you got the Gremlins reunion. Jeffrey Combs. You know, more folks coming from like Reanimator and like that kind of crew. Barbara Crampton. That's the name I was looking for. We've got Millie. I'm don't remember her last name, but the girl from Hereditary. She is going to be there this year. The guy who played Sam in Trick or Treat, the 2007 anthology film, is going to be there this year. So just a lot of really cool people coming out to that event. And we are just so excited that we get to be a part of that. The Halloween Horror Hour will actually be live from the convention at 8 p.m. on May 4th. So that video will probably make it to YouTube at some point, but we get to do a live show. We're going to show a couple of shorts, going to show a music video, and Sam, Scary Ghost, and Hallow, Ian, myself will be there cracking jokes and interacting with the audience.
Man, that's, yeah, dude, you see, that's kind of what I want to get to. I want to be able to, and I've gotten permission to stream live. For the most part, it's just myself. You know, I have my buddy Braxton out there in Austin, which is like an hour away from here. But you know, it's I do a lot of the local footwork, so it's hard, and I don't want to post if I'm, you know, I got to step away and then somebody takes my stuff, you know. So I'm always like, but yeah, man, you know, that'd be cool. And my thing is, and you know, it'll happen is to where I want to be able to just start setting up, get a booth, and you know, when the guests are ready, just come by and you know, jump on an episode, or not even an episode, just on the live feed, and you know, it's smart because they promote themselves. Hey, come by, you know, today or tomorrow, and you know, they get to meet, you know, make their money, and the guests get to meet their, you know, their fans. So of course, you know, they get to meet these actors and actresses and do all the fan stuff, man. But you know,
no, we love doing that kind of bumper stuff where, like, you know, I'm Hallow Ian and you're watching the Coming Soon podcast, like that kind of thing. And we've been partnering with some other horror hosts, so like Count Gregula out of the Chicago area, Slash Cooper does Graveyard Tales, also out of kind of the Indiana area. Like we just love partnering with these folks and sharing the advertisement, sharing the audience, sharing the love of horror and horror creation. So any chance we get to do crossovers with folks, we really like to do that. And that's what's going to be really fun about doing having a booth at Crypticon this year. You know, if I get to grab like Joe Dante or Barbara Crampton and have them come down and say, I'm Barbara Crampton watching the Halloween, and you're watching the Halloween Horror Hour. That's just going to make my whole weekend,
Oh, yeah. You see, and that's kind of what I'm getting to also, man. Like a lot of these guests, because right off the bat, they're like, hey, this is our media guy. Like, he's got permission to be here. And they're like, oh, okay, cool, man. How's it going? And it's like I've been so close to asking, like, hey, man, can you do a cameo, man? Can you do this? And so, but I'll get to it. It's just it'd be cool. It'd be surreal. I've gotten to meet so many people, man. Like, as far as actors, actresses, man, I'm just like mind blown every time because I'm there. I haven't been starstruck yet, but I do get nervous, and I'm just like, oh man, like you're standing in front of me. It's cool, man. I've grew up watching, watching these folks on TV on the big screen for years, and now it's like they're right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's just so much excitement around those kind of things. So yeah, really, really looking forward to another year at Crypticon, and just so many amazing people helping put that on. So
you see, and I had heard about that event because like I had mentioned earlier, my girl's from up there. And when I heard about that event, I had told her, like, hey, there's a event out there in Seattle. You want to go? And she's like, yeah, like, let's go. I'll see. I mean, I was joking, but I'm like, I was up for it though, man. I was like, dude, let's do it. Take a trip out there and hang out in Seattle for a minute, but she gets to go home, so that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, you'd be more than welcome out here. One of our voice actors is coming down from Alaska. He's going to come down to the con and hang out with us. He did the voiceover announcement stuff for some of our commercial breaks and for our Cats Get commercial. And we've got another voice actor out in Atlanta, Joe Peard. We'd love for him to come home. But there's good work for actors out in Atlanta, and he's a fantastic actor. So we're glad we get to have him on his magic mirror. We do a blue screen kind of thing with him, make sure he still gets to be on the show, even though he's on the other side of the country.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, man. But that's cool, man, and that's kind of what I like about technology is that now we can do that. It's like before, like, man, you got to be here, and I mean, it's always better to be there live in person, but if you can't, now you can stream it or, send a JPEG when it comes to video or audio, and that's it, but yeah, man, I mean, when is the date for that one you said for the
Crypticon is the first weekend of May. So we're less than a month out now. Yeah. It's a month from the live show for the Halloween. Exactly a month today we'll be there. But that's May 3rd, 4th, and 5th for that one. And then, that live show will probably be available on YouTube about within a month or a month and a half. And then in July will be our summer special.
Man, I was going to say, man, because I know we're making a trip up to Irving. We're going to be out there at the Texas Frightmare. I saw your Scream poster, and I was going to say the cast of the reunion for the Scream 1, the first one's going to be there.
Wow, yeah.
So that's going to be cool. And actually, let me see if I can get my camera to face this way real quick.
Oh, yeah, you got the Scream 3 one up there. Nice.
Yeah, but you see, all these are we're talking about nostalgia. Like, everybody buys posters, and I get it. But for me, all my posters are a video store poster, like coming soon. Yeah, that's where I got my name from. When it came to the podcast, I always just loved watching that because I'm like, oh man, coming soon to VHS or coming soon to DVD, and so all my posters are all like, I'm a sucker for all my DVDs, my VHS. For the most part, a lot of them are ex rentals, and I just have to have them. I'm like, dude, it's got a label, I gotta have it, and I'll replace them or I'll get 2 copies and I'll keep them, but. That's one of my.
You got that green sticker, the little green circle sticker that says horror on it. That's my favorite. Yeah, and I rotate my posters out here pretty regularly, but I've got Don't Go in the Woods Alone.
Yeah.
The Midsummer stuff going on, and then Scream 6 up there right now. But these are vinyl ones, and I had somebody like sending me these for a while, so I had like somebody that was just hooking me up with stuff to put in the background, and Scream 6 has stayed up there since I got it. I might replace it with my Texas Chainsaw Massacre one again pretty soon, but
I know, man. I've got a couple of I don't have the original. I mean, I've got like as far as like prints and stuff, but as far as the posters, I believe I have part 2 in the single print. I've got and they're up. I just don't have them up here. I keep, I don't have that much wall space, so I just keep them in frames. But but yeah, man, it's just that I've been fortunate to find them when I'm out there, hitting up flea markets and garage sales and finding all this cool stuff, man. So if I see it, I'm like, yeah, I'm taking it home. Mind out.
Absolutely.
Man, bro. Well, dude, I mean, I appreciate you jumping on here, Ian, man. It's definitely been a pleasure, man. I mean, I've actually had a good conversation. Definitely have to mix it up, bro. I mean, I'm definitely interested. I mean, I know you guys are years ahead of what I'm doing, but dude, I would love to be able to just, I mean, have you back and do this again.
Absolutely. I really appreciate you having me on, Mario, and I would be happy to be back. We've got new episodes coming out, and I'll send you links for all the like trailers and stuff if you want to share those with folks. And I would be happy to come back later this year and just talk about the stuff that people have been able to see since this time.
No, for sure, man. I mean, I would love to be able to go out there to Crypticon, man. But I mean, I know I won't be able to. But
not this year.
Maybe after that I can bring you on and we'll see how that went.
All right, fantastic. I really appreciate it. You have a fantastic day, and we'll talk again soon, I'm sure.
Yes, sir, for sure, man. Everybody out there, of course, make sure and follow the guys. Once again, this is sPidA, the Coming Soon podcast. Till next time, follow up.